Greetings fellow gamers, I'm the Soulsborne Seeker and today I'll be reviewing Bat Boy, a thrilling retro side-scrolling action platforming title developed by Sonzai Games in collaboration with X Plus Company and released in May of 2023 for PC, PS4, PS5, Nintendo Switch, Xbox One, as well as the Xbox Series X and Series S. Bat Boy is one of those titles that wears its influences proudly on its sleeve while at the same time doing its best to establish its own identity in the arcade action platformer scene, infusing its content with a healthy dose of nostalgia in the process. The game draws heavy inspiration from precursors like the classic Mega Man and Super Mario franchises for its gameplay and level design, also incorporating minor Metroidvania elements to increase its replayability value. The question is, does Bat Boy succeed in paying homage to the games that preceded it while still differentiating itself from them, or does it get overshadowed by the giants upon whose shoulders it tries to stand? Let's find out. Bat Boy tells the story of Ryosuke, a high school student whose father mysteriously vanished 7 years ago. Ryosuke spends his days having fun with his 8 close friends by hanging out together and playing sports, but their nights are anything but ordinary. Once the sun sets, Ryosuke and his pals suit up and become heroes, fighting against crime by utilizing their athletic skills, with each team member specializing in a specific sport. On one such night, things take a turn for the worst as Ryosuke and the gang encounter Lord Vicious, an otherworldly tyrant who decides to enslave and force them to participate in a series of deadly sports trials in his own dimension. Unfortunately for the Dark Mage, he fails to capture Ryosuke, who then chases Lord Vicious through a portal and into the unknown realm of Stratoss in pursuit of his friends. Now trapped in this new and hostile place, and accompanied by a strange and quirky demon raven that took a liking to him, Ryosuke decides to go after and save each and every one of his partners. However, what he will soon find out is that things are not going to be easy, since they all have been brainwashed and now consider him a threat to be eliminated, meaning that Ryosuke will have to fight against his closest friends if he wants to save them, before facing off against Lord Vicious himself for a chance to return home. While the story of Bat Boy doesn't really go deep, in all honesty it never takes itself too seriously and is incredibly self-aware, as well as fitting to the gameplay, which has you running from one biome to the next in search of your teammates. It has a certain 80s anime quality to it that I found quite enjoyable and nostalgic to a charming degree. I do need to mention that despite a lack of plot depth, the actual writing is very witty and humorous, and I did catch myself chuckling a few times when reading the exchanges between Ryosuke and the various characters he comes across, which was a pleasant surprise. In terms of the world, the realm of Stratoss is presented in a way reminiscent of Super Mario Bros. 3, featuring a map hub with 12 different main stages that you will have to complete in order to beat the game, as well as 3 optional ones that yield bonus items that can make your journey easier. Each stage consists of a completely different biome, ranging from warm beaches and frosty mountains all the way to clockwork factories and spooky castles, every area throwing at you different enemies and challenges that constantly keep you on your toes, many of which pay tribute to classic franchises. For example, the snowy biome is plagued by slippery ground that makes traversal harder, in similar fashion to the ice world of Super Mario Bros. 3, while the beach biome features underwater sequences where keeping an eye on your breath can be the difference between life and a watery death, which brings to mind certain stages of the popular Sonic the Hedgehog series. The uniqueness of each level is further enhanced by the game's visuals, with detailed pixel art and vivid colors fleshing out the setting in a truly engaging way. Stages are accessed through the map overworld and can be revisited as many times as you want in order for you to uncover all of their secrets, some of which can only be found once you have gained certain abilities which will allow you to access previously inaccessible areas, effectively infusing some Metroidvania elements into the mix, which are a welcome addition. Each level hides 3 different seeds to be found, which you can use in special shops of the overworld in order to increase your health and stamina, as well as a music tape featuring tracks from the game, which you can listen to via a jukebox located in the game's central hub. Bat Boy also features currency that you can gather, which allows you to purchase additional siege from the various merchants of the world, as well as special potions that become available to you once you beat its optional stages. The hardest secrets to find are a series of pets that have been lost in certain levels, which can really test your exploration skills. Gameplay-wise, Bat Boy is an action platformer through and through, with combat and platforming segments taking up the bulk of your time with it, and of central importance to both elements is the titular bat. Ryosuke is a baseball batter, and can use his club to both dispose of his enemies, but also perform difficult acrobatics in order to proceed through each biome on his way to face the respective boss waiting at its end. By utilizing your bat, you are able to perform a variety of different actions that can advance combat and exploration, including sending projectiles back to enemies or bouncing off of them, as well as using it to reach higher sections and turn levers that will allow you to move deeper into each stage. I will say that the bouncing mechanic takes a bit of getting used to, since it requires precision timing to get it right and not get hurt in the process, and can get a bit hectic at times if you start bouncing across different things, but the learning curve is made easier due to tight controls that make each platforming challenge a fun experience. On that note, I want to mention that the game really takes advantage of its sports theme, with enemies boasting movesets influenced by their respective favorite physical activity, including soccer, basketball, scuba diving, and ballet among others, which was quite unique and really made each foe stand out in an interesting way, an element that was utilized to its fullest potential when it came to the boss fights. The bosses in Bat Boy were a pleasure to go through, mainly due to their unconventional attack patterns which relied heavily on their respective sport. For example, the rugby boss mainly made use of shoulder rushes, whereas the basketball villain dunked a lot, filling your screen with basketballs in the process. Each stage features a big bad at the end, and defeating them earns you a special move in true Mega Man fashion, which can be used both to take down enemies in new and creative ways, but also to complete increasingly challenging platforming areas and find secrets you would otherwise haven't been able to reach. Now, while each boss posed a decent challenge, I do need to mention that after I received my first special ability, which allowed me to throw my bat, it reduced the difficulty a lot for a good number of my battles with the villains, though not for all of them and certainly not to the point where beating them would be considered a breeze. On the topic of difficulty, I'd say Bat Boy is leaning towards the normal side of things in a tough but fair kind of way. It certainly gets increasingly difficult as you move closer to the end, with platforming segments that require fast reflexes as well as clever use of your special abilities, which cost stamina to use. But I never found myself frustrated or stuck at any point. The game also features a speedrun mode if you really want to test your skills, so there's something here for the hardcore gamers as well. Lengthwise, it took me 5 hours to finish the game, including the 3 optional stages, with a bit over 80% of total secrets found. For a price of about $15, it cuts it a bit close in terms of value for money, though the quality of the title in relation to entertainment offered is definitely among the best in the genre, making this a surefire recommendation if you enjoy this type of game. In conclusion, I had a blast playing Bat Boy. I loved its platforming aspect, I enjoyed the uniqueness of each boss fight, I was blown away by the amount of nostalgic Easter eggs the game was packed with, I was thoroughly engaged with discovering the secrets of each stage, and I had fun watching the humorous story unfold. I would have definitely liked it if the game was lengthier and there were times where the bouncing mechanic could become a bit chaotic, but what you have here is a true arcade gem that will make you relive some of your best moments back when you were gaming on your Nintendo and Sega console systems during your childhood years. For newcomers in the genre, Bat Boy is an excellent point of entry that will show you why this category of games is loved by so many to this day. My final verdict on Bat Boy is 9 out of 10. What did you think about Bat Boy? Have you played it yet? Do you agree with the points I mentioned, or do you see things differently? Let me know in the comments below, and please subscribe if you enjoyed this video. As always, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, Soulsborne Seeker out!